Moto3 leaves the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya and heads over to the Mazzano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli for round 16 of the 2025 season. Jose Antonio Rueda is dominating so far, but we're moments away from the green light going on. Let's head down to the track and join Susie.
Track here, and just staying on Angel Piqueras for a second, you get the sense that he kind of likes a fight. He loves to overtake, and going from mid-pack never seems to be a problem for him.
Not at all. I mean, anyone normal starts on the fourth row. A track like this, you'd be panicking, you'd be a bit nervous, but Piqueras always goes forward, super aggressive. He's well aware that Rueda's probably got the best race pace, but so is everybody else, your David Munoz, the aggressive riders all around. So what they're going to do, they're going to prevent Rueda from using those flowing lines that we've seen him use so many times so effectively. I mean, he's won 7 races this year as Rueda, but Rueda's going to get dive bombed left, right and centre.
And one of those riders is probably going to be David Munoz and probably Adrian Fernandez as well, both going from the second row. So it could be a very spicy start.
Yeah, the super aggressive rider in Munoz and Fernandez. And it's a bit of a... I like the look of the grid because people are out of places a little bit, and normally that always gives a good show, you know, during the race. These guys that maybe just missed out a little bit on qualifying, it was very, very tight as well. But they've got better race pace than their position, so we're going to see some comebacks, we're going to see some dive bombs, like Neil said, and we're going to see a great fight. Hopefully, they stop Rueda from checking out.
Yeah, and so we've got Munoz there. We've also got Max Quiles. We did mention him earlier, but he's coming from the third row, just throwing him in again at the end.
Yeah, again, a rider that, don't get me wrong, Quiles can qualify well, but it's not the be-all and end-all for him, is it? Because we know how quick he is, so he'll go forward.
But it's Valentin Peroni in pole position as we get our racing kicking off for the first time today. Moto3 is about to get underway. Michael Laverty is alongside Gavin Emmett. Ciao.
Good. Here we go then. Time to find out what the Moto3 lot have got in store for us today as we get set for the total of 20 laps around Mazzano. Here we go. Round 16 of the season. Welcome to the Mazzano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli, where Valentin Peroni is on pole position from Joel Kelso in second, and Jacob Woolstone lines up in third. Jose Antonio Rueda alongside David Munoz and Adrian Fernandez. Then it's Tayo Furusato, Rusi Yamanaka and Maximo Cuelas running on the order. Alvaro Carpe from Angel Piqueras and Dennis Foggia, David Almanza, Luca Lanetta and Scott Ogden down in 15th place. Guidi Pini alongside Rishi Moodley, Stefano Neppa, Nicola Caro, Marcus Jurdatai, Cormac Buckerman alongside Eddie O'Shea, Ricardo Rossi, Evan Belford, Abi Matamara, Noah Deltweller, Marcus Rueda is the 27 runners as we get started here today for the Moto3 Grand Prix of Mazzano. The San Marino race. Let's head down and check in with TNT.
Sort of getting to the point of the season where Piqueras needs something dramatic to happen. Can he force it to happen here?
He can. He loves to force the issue. Piqueras is good in terms of racing from the front, but I think today he's got to attack Rueda at every opportunity, especially in these early laps. Jose Antonio Rueda's got pace that could see him make a gap on the rest of the field. We've seen him do that quite cleverly on occasion this season, and I think he's got it up his sleeve today, but attacks will come from everywhere, and I think it's mainly going to be Piqueras in terms of the championship race. If he wants to claw back enough points to bring himself into contention, he's got to make something happen here.
There he is, Jose Antonio Rueda went off even on the warm-up lap to head the field. He leads by 64 from Piqueras, but 3 races ago, coming into the race, it was 85, and every single one of the last 3, Piqueras has pulled back with victories in Austria and last time out in Barcelona. Sort of stemmed the bleeding, didn't he, Rueda, with second place there. So who's going to make life hard for Jose Antonio today, apart from Angel?
I think Peroni's got some good pace and good attacking form. David Munoz, he's looked really strong around this racetrack all weekend long. He's actually had a good look at Rueda and Piqueras. They've rode on track on a number of occasions, so I think they've all sized each other up. There's going to be a proper scrap. Piqueras out of place really in terms of his rhythm, only qualifying on the 4th row of the grid, but yeah, you look for the Leopard boys, they've been looking fast as well, both Fernandez and Almanza on the Hondas, and we know of late, Furusato always makes his way into the battle, so I think Tayo could be there from the 3rd row of the grid as well.
Yeah, last year, let's not forget, this is where Piqueras took his first Grand Prix victory. It'd be remiss of me not to mention the two Aussies on the front row. You just signed one of them in Joel Kelso for next year. But Kelso and Ralston have been great. Ralston's looked really good all weekend too.
Yeah, he's on form at the moment. A fantastic weekend in Barcelona as well. Unfortunate to DNF there with a technical, but front row start for him and looking fiery, feisty, and trying to get a seat for next year. So yeah, he's fired up.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes then as we get ready. KTM have won every Moto3 race so far this year as a heads up back over there. So are we going to see something different, or are we going to see the standard procedure start to come into the racing factors? Red flag at the front, green flag at the back. Watch the lights. Here we go. The Moto3 San Marino Grand Prix is under starters orders. Lights are on, lights out now. We're underway. It's a good start for Valentin Peroni. Brilliant start coming in from Jacob Ralston. He'll go side by side with Jose Antonio Ueda down towards turn 1. Rushi Moody up 2 places to the first corner as well. The top 5 align astern as they still try and do battling in positions to come 1, 2 into 3. Kelso's taken the lead of the race. He cuts back underneath the inside of Valentin Peroni. Kelso leads. Peroni is second. Ralston holding on for third position as a little bit of contact there. Adrian Fernandez losing out on places as they come through. Luca Linetta has dropped down 2 places as well from where he started as the racing action continues. Down now in towards turn number 8 on the circuit. Anyone going to go for him on the inside line? This is the opportunity. The 99 of Ueda looking for a way to go through on the inside. Still nothing going to happen there. Perfect getaway from the majority of the field, I must say. It was pitch perfect to try and get something else done. They've all done brilliantly to keep this action going, to keep this race momentum on as well. Still going side by side, still having a little bit of drama between the rest of the field. One by one, round the outside, David Munoz trying to get ahead of Peroni. He's going on the inside line down towards turn 11. There's a little bit of a touch. Peroni goes out wide, but now taking second position is David Munoz. So a bit of a surprise between the two, but we'll take it on lap 1 of this bizarre race in Moto3 already.
Close for comfort at this stage in the race from David Munoz, but all's fair, I think, at the moment.
Munoz is as Munoz does, and he's up into second place now behind Joel Kelso. A little switch between 15 and 16, but still leads them across the line at the end of the first lap. So he leads. Munoz second, Peroni is in third. Then Rueda's just got ahead now of Jacob Ralston. Piqueras is up 2 spots off the start, and he's tucked in now behind this battle. Quiles and Carpe in front of him.
Yeah, I actually expected Piqueras to make more inroads on lap 1, but yeah, he's got some work to do from there. Back with his teammate just ahead of Ryusei Yamanaka. Carpe's had a good start and a good lap 1 for him, but yeah, Piqueras needs to make inroads.
It works for Piqueras, the fact that Rueda is not at the front, and then the fact that Kelso is there, because that will help them keep together. What Rueda will be wanting to do now is keep his nose clean for now, hit the front and try and break them as Fernandez now attacks Ralston.
A bit of smoke off the boot from Fernandez as he was dragging his heel on the way into La Quercia, but made the pass cleanly on Ralston this time.
I want tickets to a Peroni Munoz face-off here, isn't it? It has got a boxing match all over it, that one. And Peroni was very strong into 9 and got through on David Munoz. He's not going to attack into Carboni, is he? He takes to the inside of Joel Kelso. You are able to get a bit of slipstream there, which is sometimes then we see people slingshot into 12 or even here into 13.
Yeah, the run through Carboni, it does provide a good draft, but for me it looks like Peroni, he's almost riding a little bit too close to Joel as he runs through the turn. It is compromising him a little bit, but yeah, I'll tell you what, he's making a bit of a name for himself lately. Loose by Quiles into turn 15, fully attacking.
Yeah, well, they can just see there, and I think there's a bit of desperation to get through on Ralston there. It's just the front 5, slight gap opening up there, and Quiles is very high on the curbs, as is his wont. He does that quite a lot, Max Quiles, but just making sure this front group don't pull away, because their pace on that last lap, Michael, with Fernandez the fastest of them, was 4/10 quicker than the chasing group.
Yeah, it's a fast pace at this stage in the race. We've seen, I think the best race lap was 40.6 from Colin Fire last year. We're already at 41.0. Then we had 40.9s, 40.8 from Adrian Fernandez, so we're already inching closer to that lap record.
Heading out onto the middle straight, we'll call it, through the little kink of turn 7 here. That's the curve on the inside, and then fanning out once more for turn 8. La Quercia. Jose Antonio Rueda again thinking better of making an enemy out of David Munoz as he sits in behind his compatriot. Both of them Andalusians. Munoz, is he going to attack Perrone this time? No.
No,
he's just decided, look, I'm in that front group now. I am happy here.
Yeah, seems to be the way it's going at the moment. Kelso leading, Perrone second, Munoz third, Rueda fourth, Fernandez fifth, Cuelas sixth. Oh, hang on, Piqueras gets ahead of Rulstone, so that's changed over in the overall pack position. You can see that one coming earlier on as they continue on the attack, continue on the momentum, downhill into the braking zone, accelerating through, trying to find out the best momentum between them all so far. But Kelso leading the race with a huge advantage at the moment. But that's made a mistake. Kelso's made a mistake. So Valentin Perrone is now going to be right on the back of him as he comes down towards turn 1. So a small mistake from the race leader is going to cost him now as he goes down towards the first corner. Where they're going to go? They all go side by side. Kelso, Perrone, Munoz and Rueda. So Rueda, who is 68 clear of Piqueras in the championship, doesn't want to do anything stupid before we go to the flyaway races. Japan, Indonesia. That rounds out a back-to-back later on in September. Kelso, Perrone, Munoz, Rueda, 4 tenths. Then it's Fernandez, Cuelas, 2 tenths. Then it's Piqueras, Rulstone, Carpe, Almanza, Yamanaka, Pini, all running down that order as well. As the gap at the moment, no jump starts and race control on the official messages. That's the good stat that we like to see. But everyone so far just in a continuation of ifs, buts, maybes. Let's see if that works. Let's see if this works. Is it going to be a difference between them? But yeah, it's not as bad as we were expecting, and it's doing all right as we are on an interesting lap of this one with lap 420. 17 remain here of the San Marino Grand Prix at
the group. There's not too much silliness going on.
Foggia passes
Steadily picked
Lunetta.
myself away, turned tighter through Curvone on that occasion. He's in third on the 99. In front of him, the 73 of Valentin Perrone, and out front, the 66, the orange 66 of Naranjito himself, Joel Kelso.
Yeah, Kelso's setting a good pace, but Perrone is so close to his rear wheel at points of this racetrack where I think he could force an overtake at the moment if he wanted to, but yeah, the pace from Kelso, it is hot. He set his personal best last time around. I think he looks set to match it again. Pretty much, yeah, just a 10th faster this time around for Kelso.
Personal best for everyone, down to Almanza in 9th, who's trying to bridge the gap that Carpe's not been able to. 1.6 now, the gap from Almanza to this front group of 8, led by Joel Kelso. Jacob Ralston is the 8th of the 8 riders. Already starting to get tasty, isn't it? Oh, and Munoz, he got to the curves on the inside. Did he clip the back of Perrone? He was getting tight in there. You just saw it start to rev him up a little bit because Rueda got through on him. Perrone was there. Perrone's dropped to 7th place, but we need to see what happened there again.
Yeah, I was looking at the timing screens. I missed it, but obviously maybe a little bit of impatience from Munoz trying to go down the inside of turn 4. It's one of those corners that loops back at itself so tight. And yeah, collision. That's ruined Munoz's shot at this victory today.
Yeah, he got on the curbs on the inside. There you can see Perrone straight away back at Ralston. Ralston just set the fastest lap of the race at 140.675. You know, it's not far off the best race lap around here. But this, if Rueda can just see his pit board before the end of this lap, if he were to pass Kelso now, and I feel like he could if he wanted, he's got a gap ready-made behind him. This is what happened,
the time's
Michael.
there, yeah.
He thought about it, then Perrone let off the brakes, it seems, from the outside, closed the door and left Munoz nowhere to go. He tried to avoid contact. I wouldn't say that's David Munoz's fault, to be honest.
No, it's one of those, isn't it? Racing against each other. Perrone's turned in to try to defend. Munoz is behind him. Perrone's just closing the door on him. As we head up towards turn 1, does Rueda pounce? The gap behind him, 0.6 of a second.
Thing is Joel Kelso's lapping so consistent at the front, another 40.9, identical to his previous lap. Rueda, he might get the signal on his pit board to say he's got a little gap over Quiles, so he may look to go through and try and stretch it away with the young Aussie.
Yeah, just slightly quicker than him on that previous lap there. Jose Antonio Rueda. The longer this happens, it gives that pack of Quiles, Fernandez, Piqueras, Peroni and Ralston chance to chip away. I think Rueda is lining this one up down into La Quercia.
I'll find a way
showing. Not an easy rider to pass when he's in the flow.
Yeah, strong on the brakes down into La Quercia. A little bubble for him as he cracked onto the throttle on the exit, but yeah, good push for him at this stage in the race.
He's pushing on really well. Here comes Peroni once more on Piqueras, who I feel like Piqueras bides his time in races and saves something for the end. He might not have that luxury at this moment in time. There is work to be done here because the gap is at 0.7. 0.8 now, actually, between Rueda and Quiles.
Yeah, you can't afford to when you've got Rueda stretching it 0.7 of a second. No further action taken for the Munoz-Peroni incident.
Yeah,
it is, as we expected, a racing incident, and yeah, good, quick analysis from the stewards up there.
Still Kelso setting a really hot pace out front. Can he hold on to it for the remaining 14 laps of the race when they cross the finish line? Here we go then. Kelso from Rueda. This is where he made a move previously.
Yeah, well, Rueda wants that turn one action, but there's nothing coming at the moment. He's trying to look left, he's trying to look right. He's trying to find the right opportunity to sort of go, I'll pounce here, I'll get through here, but there's no momentum. Yellow flags out in sectors 3 and 4, so don't know what exactly that's for, but they've opened up the yellow flag graphic, as you can see on our timing tower. So somebody's gone wide. Well, I don't think, interesting enough, into the pit lane has gone Albi Adamada, and Marcus Rueda has stopped at sector 3 and 4, so I think he is the reason why the yellow flag's out. Rueda dives through on the inside line of Kelso, down in turn 8, and takes the lead of the race, and Kelso looks behind him to see where Maximo Cuelas is. Piqueras further back as well, lunging through, but Rueda leads, and this is not what we wanted to see, because they can't let Jose Antonio Rueda just take away at the front, just start opening up more time. He will be the Moto3 champion this year, but look at Kelso. He's right behind him, trying to look for a slipstream down in towards turn 14, and that definitely out of the race is Marcos Rueda for the Anglers MLAV Racing Squad. Michael, sorry, but you're out.
He's with Aurora Angelucci and your team here this weekend, so shame for Marcos Rueda. But Kelso, if you're in his position, do you try and attack Rueda? Do you try and stick with him? What do you do? Do you have a choice? If Rueda's pushing on like it looks he is.
Yeah, it looks like Quiles is working really hard on this lap and actually has made some inroads to the leaders. It is a new lap record for Maximo Quiles, 40.594. And you can see how hard he's working even into turn 1. That's the effort he needed to do to make sure he stayed in this race.
So Kelso was being told Quiles' pace was actually 0.3 slower than what it was, because Quiles has just done that new race lap record on lap 7. It feels like we are going to get a group here.
Yeah.
But they need to start challenging Rueda.
Yeah, we know Rueda's possibility of lapping mid-40s for a long period. We've seen it yesterday, but yeah, at the moment, that pace was being set by Kelso without a slipstream at the front. And obviously Quiles, he worked really hard to get across, but in that first sector, lost a little bit. Not a huge amount,
Eddie
but
O'Shea,
yeah, it's just been
penalty.
a tough one.
Bad news for you, I'm afraid, Michael. Your man Eddie O'Shea having a really good ride here, in with Marcos Uriarte and Ricky Rossi and co. And unfortunately, he's been given a long lap penalty for track limits. A lot of it around here this weekend. I expect there'll be more in the race. Nicola Carraro is retiring, or at least back into the pits. So his shot at points looks like it will have gone.
Munoz all the way down in 17th, but lapping again at the same pace as the lead group. So yeah, unfortunate we're not seeing the number 64 in this battle at the front after that incident at turn 4.
It was one of those things, a decision, a split-second decision that went wrong, wasn't it? Been a bit of jockeying through 1, 2 and 3, got himself on the inside. Peroni's closing the door on him and just got it wrong.
Yeah, we've seen it many times. Looks like Ralston just struggling a little bit there. He was over the curve and you can see he lost a little bit of ground on that group.
The reason why he's struggling is the pace here, Michael. Valentin Peroni and Adrian Fernandez have just done 140 0.5 for Fernandez, 0.4 for Peroni, and a 0.5 for Piqueras. So that it feels like they've all been holding on to their tyres.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, well, we just can't let that gap open up anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned tyres. Pretty much everyone's gone for the soft rear tyre, but on the front side of things, there's a little bit of a mixed bag. Actually, sorry, Adrian Fernandez is on the hard rear, which could bode well for him later in the race. It's only really the Leopard riders who chose that hard rear tyre today. For the front, though, Kelso's on the soft front, Ralston's on the soft front, Adrian Fernandez on the soft front, but then you've got Rueda and Piqueras on that harder front option, so it may come into their hands at the latter laps of the race.
Valentin Perrone through. He only knows one way. We've said it before, just nose forward. That's it. And he goes through on Fernandez, and he passes him. He just wants to tag on to the back of Quiles. Rueda still leading on the 99 from the 66 of Joel Kelso. The 28 of Max Quiles is the turquoise and pink bike chasing down the lead duo. But Kelso's doing a good job of keeping Rueda honest, and he has upped his pace to match that of Rueda.
Yeah, I do think Joel was fairly comfortable at the head of the field, and it's good that he's been able to respond to the upped ante from Jose Antonio Rueda. He needed to, obviously, with Quiles coming from behind, and Perrone, last lap around new lap record, he needs it again just to get across the last little bit of daylight between him and the lead 3.
Yellow flag's out, sector 4, so someone else has gone down on our timing screen. Trying to work out who it is. I think it's not Nicola Caro, because he's just circulating in 25th position. Eddie O'Shea's completed the long lap penalty, but I don't know why. Here we go. That's Belford at turn 14. That's at the hairpin. So Belford's running in, was in the mid pack. The front just dipped away mid corner, and he's gone out wide. So that's a shame for Belford, but we kind of expect that to happen 9 times out of 10 in this race. We're halfway in the Moto3 Grand Prix of San Marino. Rueda leads, Kelso second, Quiles in third, fourth for Perrone, fifth for Piqueras, Fernandez sixth, Ralston seventh, Yamanaka eighth, Almanza ninth, Pini 10th. And up the inside, Quiles going for a move, but Kelso doesn't know he's there. Rides right to the side of him. They both stay on at the exit of turn 10. Down 11, 12, 13 and 14 coming up now, the top of the J section. Just a little bit wide and a little bit foolish to come through. There's confirmation that Belford's rider okay on our timing monitor. But Rueda leading at the moment by 0.286 of a second.
But Joel will hopefully fight back here.
It's where he needs to give as good as he gets, isn't it? That's the gauntlet at his feet, isn't it? If they're going to rough you up, you've got to come back. And we have seen it this year. We saw it in the early races, didn't we? Joel said on the grid to Rachel that, you know, he feels like he's got the bike underneath him to do that. So let's hope we see a bit more of it. You've got to box clever, though, as we get to half race distance. He is going to attack down into turn 1. I like to see that. That's exactly what we've been asking for. And straight away, Kelso responds. The only drama, the only problem, and why I said box clever, is Rueda out front.
Yeah, you can't have too much back and forth because it allows Jose Antonio a little bit of breathing space. Yeah, I'm glad to see Joel fight back. It is a slight criticism we've levelled at him over the years. When you get into the last third of the race and everyone gets a little bit fired up, perhaps Joel doesn't have the sharpest of elbows, but today he looks like he's ready for this. Absolutely,
and it's really good to see. The gap, though, 0.4 between Rueda and Kelso. Rueda can just sense, can't he? Maybe he can't quite hear the motorcycle behind him in the same way he has over recent laps. And you just wonder, I want to look at this lap from Rueda. Did a 140.8 on the last lap. I'm really intrigued to see what it is on this one, if he's got the hammer down and trying to brake.
Joel's got 10th back in second too, so he's working hard here to get across to Jose Antonio Rueda.
That's all tyre, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, using a little bit too much at this stage in the race. We're only just past the halfway point. Yeah, it's a long way to go.
Yeah, 10 down, 10 and a half now, and 9 and a half to go in this Moto3 Grand Prix of San Marino and the Rimini Riviera, including the points on offer today. 175 still on the table. The gap at the front, 64. As it stands, that gap will be opening up by another 14 as Piqueras takes one of his track limits transgressions. I think Piqueras is labouring a bit here.
Yeah, it's not looked like the Angel Piqueras we seen a week ago in Barcelona or prior to that in Hungary. He just looks like he's struggling. You can see the gap back to him and Adrian Fernandez. And he's going to work hard to get back over to these guys. But yeah, you never rule him out. Obviously, we've seen what he pulled off here a year ago, taking his first ever victory in the Moto3 category with 2 double long lap penalties. So yeah, it's not over yet, but yeah, it doesn't look easy for him today.
Needs to respond, doesn't he? Rueda did not improve on that last lap. We've had another track limits warning come up, and it's for Max Quiles. So in the front group, he needs to keep away from the green now. Eddie O'Shea has stopped with a technical issue now, I'm sorry to say. We get to that point of the season, aren't we? When I know Eddie's limited with one of his engines having a problem earlier this season. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Eddie. At the front, Rueda from Kelso. Peroni and Quiles having a little scrap. Then behind, Piqueras is working this lap, and it looks like already he's quickly got back onto them.
Yeah, it's just as we were about to write him off earlier in the lap, he's done all the hard work and he's back in this battle.
After he's hit the front, you know, Rueda's pace has slowed. It's not like he's continued. He's obviously managing things, wanting some tyre left for the end of the race. But clearly he had a limit as well, because otherwise, oh, wow, that is so late, isn't it, from Quiles?
Yeah, it's a good pass, but it is dirty. It's a late one, all the way up the inside, and just had to force the issue on Peroni, and Peroni had to give best.
Is already starting to light the touch paper here, because when they start knocking lumps out of each other, it just helps. Rueda and Kelso out front.
Right to go.
Quiles' track limits warning is always one of those things that now you've still 8 laps to go, you've got that hanging in the balance, and the way he rides, he typically opens the throttle early, goes to the edge of the track, so it just takes his natural rhythm away because he has to think about how he exits each turn. But I'd say, yeah, it's always how he rides, up over the top edge of the curve on pretty much every occasion.
In the championship, the gap would be set at 78 after this. That'd be a 3-race cushion for Rueda, and then you're starting to think, oh, there's a possibility of winning this title when we get to Phillip Island. You know, that's what we're looking at the moment for Jose Antonio Rueda. It's up to Angel Piqueras in 5th on the number 36 to close that gap, to prevent it from happening. Can anyone show a wheel to Rueda and make life difficult for him here? He is leading. Kelso 2nd, Quiles 3rd. Good to see him as they run down to Carbone. Peroni is 4th, 5th for Piqueras, and just clinging on, Adrian Fernandez on the Honda, having a good ride on the Leopard. But you feel like, again, he is just clinging on at the moment.
Yeah, he's working hard there.
Oh,
of course he serves
hard,
it back at Quiles into Caro corner.
I love it about the young Argentine. He's definitely not intimidated in the slightest by the reputation Quiles has. He just dishes it back the very next lap.
Piqueras into the final corner there. That was all after that move. Didn't want to lose any track position. Quiles came back at Piqueras, but that's just cost them both on the exit of the final corner. And there's to and froing here between Quiles and Piqueras. Got lots of form for it in the past. Just need to watch what they're doing at the moment. Good to see, though, isn't it? Everyone, you know, there was a bit of steadiness, wasn't there, in Barcelona? This one, there's a lot of toing and froing. Yeah, we had a lot of tyre wear issues in Barcelona, or concerns from the riders, so perhaps they didn't go the typical Moto3 all guns blazing. It was a more considered race. Whereas today, we've certainly seen a bit of back and forth in the pack, although not too many attacks on Rueda over recent laps.
Caro has been given an exceeding track limit, so a long lap penalty on the list.
But I think you're right. It seems to be punching well off the corners, that MTA KTM.
Yeah, Joel certainly looks like he's got taste on certain parts of the racetrack. I think he may have something up his sleeve here for Rueda, although Peroni's got something up his sleeve for Joel. He's not contact this time, but that's the point where he has had a couple of riders down the inside already in this race. Brilliant to watch, isn't he, Valentin Peroni? Sketchy at times, but I tell you what, on the brakes, he's a demon, and he just loves going forward. Kelso, is he going to come back at the Argentine? Quite rightly decides not to. That looked really, really tight there for Peroni on the front. I thought he was going to have a look. Rueda at the moment, he's just able to sweep through some of the corners. I reckon before too long, Peroni's going to start attacking Rueda. Yeah, pretty sure that he will. Obviously, they are KTM stablemates, not teammates, in different teams, Tech 3 versus the AO squad. But yeah, yeah, Peroni won't be thinking about Rueda's championship today. He just wants to win his first Moto3 Grand Prix.
The moment we start to think about counting someone out in this race, they come back, and I'm just thinking of Adrian Fernandez. He's got in front of Piqueras. They're still just trying to cling on to this lead quartet. Heading out towards Rio corner, turn 4. Still Rueda from Peroni. Shoney strong into turn 10. Shoney strong into 14, Peroni. Is he able to set a move up here?
The first part of the lap certainly looks like it's Rueda territory, but certainly Peroni through Curvoni, through the fast turns 12 and 13 into 14. That's a very strong part for him, as you mentioned. And this turn 10 into Tremonto, very good potential for him up the inside. I don't think he's close enough this time around.
Into Caro corner, turn 14. Action will undoubtedly happen here on the last lap. My apologies, that was into Tremonto. Action will undoubtedly happen there on the last lap.
Yeah, if last year's anything to go by, there was certainly plenty of action there on the final lap.
Looking to the inside line of Rueda.
Got the calculations wrong of where we were on the circuit there, but this is through turn 13 and now into turn 14. And here comes Quiles. Action on this lap, as the Mercian comes through on Joel Kelso. Kelso, look over his shoulder again, just seeing where he is. Oh, a twitch from him as well.
Looked like he touched the inside curve, the front just bubbled, but yeah, saved it okay there.
Needs to look forward at this moment and see those riders in front of him. Quiles was very close to the green paint there, you know, coming out of that final corner. Pace at the front, Rueda has steadily hit 140.8 or 140.9 consistently over the last 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, it's such a good rhythm from Rueda. It is matched and bettered on each lap by the group behind, but yeah, it looks like he can just set that lap time at will. Does look like Piqueras though struggling today. He's not looking his typical late race form that we always see him coming forward, positioning himself well. He just seems to struggle to do those lap times.
You can see the gaps again. Kelso behind Quiles, is he lining up a pass on the brakes? Look how much ground Quiles makes up just on the brakes. I know we get the usual concertina effect in the braking zones. Braking that much later. Again, you see it down into 9 and into 10. Won't have the drive necessarily on the back straight, but he has eaten up some ground on just those 2 corners.
Yeah, you can see it from the overhead shot with Quiles, how he rolls into the turn with a lot more entry speed and claws back a little bit of the margin, but then it does compromise his exit, although look at the draft. That's a perfect illustration of the slipstream effect. Ooh, Joel's getting a little bit wide.
Yeah, but he's attacking, isn't he? And Quiles blocks him off in there. He was winding that one up for a move.
Coming up with 4 to go. Yellow flag
Still
out.
Rueda leads as he has for the majority of this.
Yeah, and yellow flag's out to 3. Well, everyone's still up. No, it's Luca Lanetta. Luca Lanetta's crashed out as we got 3 laps to go now. Are we going to see any sort of movement down to the first corners? So Luca Lanetta, timing screen says rider okay, but he's out of the way. I can confirm he's okay. He's walking away now. It's a shame for the 58. Let's see what happened. Oh my word! Dropped out right underneath him, and who was that? Who's David Almanza? Save of the season with a bike right underneath him. Managed to go, did not fall off. That's amazing. Almanza wins that one 110% as they come into the braking zone. Rueda, Peroni, 2/10, and Quiles and Kelso.
But done well, legs off and stayed on board.
Yes. I think he has recovered, Almanza. He's recovered, but he's now riding alone in 14. Track limits warning for Piqueras now. He's done. He's done in this race, Michael. Was that fair for me to say back in 6th?
Yeah, pretty sure that he's not getting back from there. The 41.5 a couple of laps ago, he did respond last time around, matched the leaders, but he's obviously used track limits to do so.
Here we go then, Peroni. Is he lining up a move here on Jose Antonio Rueda? Quiles behind. Looks like he might be. Kelso is.
Kelso's
Once
in.
again,
Kelso's
so
back.
Joel, the last time around he was turning and through 13 under Quiles. Could have made the overtake then. The door was ajar this time. Nicely done.
Really good to see now Rueda on the outside of the green paint there. So Rueda adding 1 to his tally. He's going to get tasty this in the latter stages of this race when they cross the line. There are 3 to go in the San Marino Grand Prix. It's Rueda on the 99 from the 73 of Perrone. Then it's Kelso, who's having a brilliant ride here in third on the 66, with Max Quiles working hard, you can see, to stick with this front trio.
I was just about to say the same, Gav. Quiles is having to dig deep just to stay in this battle. He's taking liberties, he's taking risks in the front end. It doesn't look like his CF Moto machine is as strong as the other KTM. Same engine in all 4 of these bikes. It could be that it's just not feeling as good today, but it doesn't look as strong, or perhaps it's his attack on entry that's caused to lose a little bit on acceleration.
Meanwhile, Kelso still looks good. He drove the drive out of turn 6 there. He closed right in on Perrone and on Rueda. Look at Quiles having to sweep around the outside of La Quercia corner into Tramonto. Here comes Perrone. First attack, first
and he's through on the inside line. Fantastic move. So Perrone's taking it away, but Rueda's going to fight with him. He doesn't want to give this up any other way as they come through on the inside line, trying to find the position as well. Can they go through on the inside line? They're having a little bit of a dive through. Can they break? Lift it off. Second place to Kelso. Rueda's fighting back. Onto the green goes Perrone. They're 4 wide into turn 16. Fabulous moves between them as they come into it now. But there was a brief yellow out in that sector. Rueda has the lead of the race. Perrone's in second. Quiles in third. Kelso fourth. Over the line, 2 to go in San Marino. On the inside, Quiles going for the race lead. Gets out of Perrone. Perrone cuts back round the outside of 1 and 2. They're running nose to nose. This is the time to go. This is the punch point. It's been a long race where they've all been running together. Quiles back on the inside at turn 3. Perrone shuts the door. I can't see Kelso getting back into this at the moment. Pushing back through, down, oh, and Quiles touching the blue. What about down into turn number 8? Kelso's got it lifted off massively. Nothing from Perrone to have a go at Rueda. Still in the waiting game, I'm afraid, maybe for a last lap move.
Through now down towards Tramonto. Rueda with Perrone just behind him.
And
Perrone loves that tight line. Is he able to turn underneath him? Not on this occasion. They all go line astern down towards Carboni. This is allowing Fernandez to come back in. But with the slipstream, just walks them in here. A lap and a half to go. Who's got the run down towards the tighter part of the
Perrone! Perrone on the inside. Quiles coming through as well. They're 4 wide to turn 14. Did they make it? Yes, they did. Fantastic! What a battle! Maximo Quiles has got the race lead. Rueda's down to second. Kelso's up to third. Perrone's going to fourth. Bringing him back is Fernandez and Piqueras now. It looks like we are going to have a fantastic last lap battle. Here we go then around Mazzano, into the last corner. Pull the throttle back up towards the racing line. Don't touch the green. One more time, you'll get a penalty. Track limits warning for so many riders already on the timing screen as it comes through. Into turn 1. Quiles holds the front line. Rueda under pressure. At the inside of Kelso goes Perrone and muscles his way through. He tries to keep the momentum to get back ahead of Rueda. Hasn't worked out, coming through 2 and 3. Into turn 4. Fernandez back on the mix. He dives through on the inside line of Joe Kelso and makes the move. Is Fernandez in this hunt? Out of turn 6 and 7. Down the back straight we go. Rueda finding a way inside line at turn 8. Thinks about it. Trail breaks in. Quiles knows he's there. Runs it wide. Keeps the lead of the race. But it's down into Tramonto. That's the one. Rueda's looking. So's Fernandez. Perrone trying to go right around the outside of Jose Antonio Rueda. Not working out the way he wanted to. Now here comes the slipstream battle. Down we come through turn 11 and 12. 13 and 14 coming up. Perrone gets a little bit of a wiggle on mid-curb. He stays with the power. Rueda's closing in. Last of the lane breakers. Perrone's going to go wide. Perrone's messed it up. Touched the grass. He's on the curb and straight off. Perrone's got out of it. 2 corners left here, Mazzano. Quiles and Rueda battling together. Fernandez running in P3. Perrone's dropped back to 6th. He's made the mistake. Into the last corner. Perrone has backed off massively, but Rueda's gone for it on the inside line. It's a drag race to the line. Jose Antonio Rueda wins. Quayla second, Fernandez third, Kelso fourth. The top 4 separated by 0.164 of a second. Wow! The checker flag waved by Andrea Zanini as well. The lucky MotoGP fan. Jose Antonio wins again. You can't stop him. You can't. Rueda on course to be world champion in Moto3 in 2025.
Position things perfectly on the last lap. This is the run through Carboni. Watch the front end of Perrone as he goes round the outside here. Well, it gets sucked in with the slipstream and then the bubble. But yeah, that was so clever from Rueda as well. He just foxed it so well in the last turn.
Final corner, this was Jose Antonio Rueda. I need to get some oxygen. I need to go and have a lie down in a dark room for a couple of minutes. So while we do that, you take a breather. When we come back, we'll try and pick apart what just happened in Moto3 here at Misano, where your championship leader, Jose Antonio Rueda, has just won a stunning San Marino Grand Prix.
I don't think we will. That was absolutely fantastic. Gav's right. You need a few minutes just to sort of catch your breath back. Here's the results then as they currently stand, because they might change. You never know. It is. Yep, Jose Antonio Rueda, victorious. Second will go to Maximo Cuevas, Adrian Fernandez in third, Kelso fourth, Piqueras fifth, Perrone 6th, Munoz in 7th, Yamanaka 8th, Pini in 9th, Alvaro Carpe in 10th. So he did manage to get it through in the end. Then we go with Rulestone 11th, Forosato in 12th, Foggia 13th, Almanza 14th. Scott Ogden does pick up the last points-paying position, though, in 15th. And then I dropped that down with Rishi Mooney in 16th, Cormac Buckerman in 17th, Stefano Nepa 18th, Noah Deltwell at 19th, 20th for Riccardo Rossi, 21st for Marcus Urtai, 22nd Nicola Caro, out of the race, Luca Lanetta, Eddie O'Shea coming through with Elvan Belford alongside Marcus Rueda and Arti Adamita as well, also out of the race. I think we all need to lie down after that one. Gav is very correct. What a bizarre, fantastic one. Certainly, I think one of the races ending of the season. It was an exciting, dramatic sort of switch around that we're going to be expecting to witness. If you're watching also our coverage on the Goodwood Revival meeting, there's been a red flag in the Sussex Trophy. It will be restarted for 10 minutes, and that's coming up soon. And that's live on JB Motorsport as well on the YouTube channel. So, let's go back over then and join Gavin. Hopefully Gav has calmed down a bit from that last lap. And we've got several other riders there with him, as well as the wonderful Michael Laverty. Susie Perry is going to be with Neil Hodgson and Sylvain Gintoli in the paddock, ready to talk some more action. Reminder, Moto2 coming up. We'll finish this broadcast and immediately go on air for Moto2 as well, so you won't be missing out on anything here this evening. Let's cross back over to the paddock and join Gav.
Welcome back to Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli. It's the San Marino Rimini Riviera Grand Prix in the Parc Ferme in Moto3. How on earth Adrian Fernandez is in that Parc Ferme, I have no idea, because we have got so much to watch back of just that last lap, never mind everything that happened before it.
Yeah, he had to work hard over the last few laps. There was the jostle and the back and forth from the lead three there, as brother Raul down to congratulate it was a clever race. Obviously, Adrian had to work hard there, and on the last lap, he was attacking. He took the opportunity that was presented to him.
Max Quiles looks disappointed. He should be proud of himself because, wow, he pulled out some moves, didn't he, on the last couple of laps. It wasn't to be. Last corner pass, and we saw one earlier in the rookies actually, but a last corner pass to win the race is one of those things. It is not easy to get right.
No, tricky turn 16, not an easy one to pull off and not run onto the green paint on the exit. But yeah, once again, Rueda able to make it happen on Quiles. So Quiles is obviously annoyed because he probably didn't expect it, but you should always anticipate it in Moto3 action. So I think he can be proud of himself today. Hold his head high after that one. That was a quality performance throughout on a day when he didn't quite have the pace. It didn't look like he was as fast as Rueda. Kelso, yeah, it just seemed like he was struggling a little bit, having to work really hard on the brakes.
First win since the Czech Republic for Jose Antonio Rueda. That's his 8th for the season. A really good year for Jose Antonio, of course. 78 now, the gap between himself and Piqueras. 3 races in your back pocket, Michael. He's stemmed the bleeding, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's a big step towards the title.
Yeah, when you've got 6 races left and you've got 50% of that already covered, that's a nice, comfortable margin now for Rueda. That allows him to go into the flyway races in a much more relaxed fashion. He, as you mentioned, was bleeding a few points in recent rounds. It had come down to 64, but yeah, he stretched it out nicely.
Valentin Perone coming down to speak to David Munoz. So just talking to Lele, and I think they understand. He said, yeah, he was there. Well, they're annoyed. Oh, says always him. It was the line
from Lele.
No, someone said it wasn't Lele, I don't think. But again, Perone can't see him there. He says that he was there and I was turning in. I don't know. What's your take?
Yeah. It always depends on the peripheral vision. Do you have blinkers? Have you seen that wheel? Sometimes if you see the wheel, you've got to give it up a little bit.
It's hard from that front angle, though.
True.
For me, it looked like Munoz was behind him all the way. Let's hear from Adrian Fernandez about what happened there.
Adrian, what a roller coaster season it's been. You've had some really difficult moments, so just how much does this mean to be back on the podium again?
It's incredible. I don't have words for explain this. I say only thank you to Carlito, Jordi, Christian, all the team, Didi, Danny, all the team, because he helped to me too much in this time, because it's not really I have a little problem, but now I have one team incredible, one family, also my brother, my dad and my mom, and I say thank you and thank for all.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic job to come back at the end. He wasn't that far off the win in the end. I know Rueda got it across the line. He was 4 thousandths behind Quiles. Look at this. Oh, how much in that last corner did the fact that Quiles had a track limits handing over his head, how much does that affect him being able to defend in that last corner?
Yeah, because his exit of 15 would have been compromised. He'd been so worried about running on the green, although they all are, because if you touch the green paint, it is an immediate penalty on the final lap. But yeah, he just left the door slightly open.
Let's hear from Max Quiles, another brilliant ride from the rookie.
Well, Max, you gave absolutely everything there. To just miss out on victory, what are the emotions like at the end?
Well, really happy with the race because it was really difficult. They were pushing and I had to catch them, and this made me get like physical really tired, and the tire was completely destroyed. So yeah, then when I arrived to the group, it was a bit difficult to do the opening, because when I opened gas I had some sliding, and I said, okay, I'm going to try to be defensive on the last lap. I was first. But yeah, the last 2 corners I had some wibbles, so I said it's going to be difficult. I saw Reda that did a great overtake, and when I saw him I said I don't know what to do, so I left and I went a bit wide, but he made an incredible overtake, and we are really happy because we are fighting for the top 3, that this is the objective, and we keep going now.
Another top ride, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, last time it was the first time we hadn't seen him in that battle. He struggled over the Barcelona weekend. Some of the moves down here into Gerbo. Look at that from Perone. And the opportunism here from Quiles with the rear bouncing on the curbs on the inside.
full chat through Curvone, over the curves on the inside, always out onto the green paint on the exit, but it was all attack, as he mentioned. He just had to give best in the last corner. He's seen Rueda up the inside, had to lift, but as he mentioned, we thought he was struggling a little bit, and it was the rear tyre that gave away on him today, but to still come away at second, he's obviously happy with it.
By half a wheel. Takes second place ahead of Adrian Fernandez. Joel Kelso, I feel for him, because Joel had put... That's perhaps the best I've seen Joel Kelso ride.
One of the best races I think I've seen from him all season. Fought back on every occasion. He had the bike turning so well. He was probably, arguably, the fastest rider on track, but yeah, just didn't get to stand on the podium today, so he'd be slightly disappointed, but he can be pretty proud of that ride.
Even more so this man, though, with the title on the line, stands up to be counted and wins in Misano.
Antonio, after the frustration of last weekend and missing out in Barcelona, it felt like nobody was going to beat you today. Talk us through that phenomenal final lap, final corner move.
Yeah, I know that we are strong pace, and I just taking that for the race. I pushing every lap to break the group as much as possible, and at the end, you know, Moto3 is like this. Too many riders in front, too many overtakes, and yeah, this race is for all the people that support me and believe me in the beginning. Also for the team, because always make a really good job. My family, and thank God for that victory, because it's one of my special and the best one for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, if that's not a champion's ride, I don't know what is. 0.004 of a second, superb action. Let's get stuck right in to some of those moves then and talk about it, because what a start of a 10 that was today here in Misano. Absolutely brilliant from all of them.
From all of them. And Gav and Michael commentating, because I tell you what, to call the race like they both did.
I thought Michael was braking a bit late, though, don't you?
Oh, I mean, but it is hard to call, because there are so many moves happening. Each corner, brave, dangerous, over-the-limit moves. Thankfully, no one went down. I mean, we all enjoyed the race, but there were times me and Sylvan were watching it through the cracks of our fingers. I mean, that Cavone corner is flat out 6 gear, and the corner after it, and they're going 3 abreast through there. It's one line through there, and it's like threading the eye of a needle, but there was...
How about that last corner move by
corner was...
Rueda? I mean, that was such a good move. He set it all up. He had to get a corner exit out of 15, got the track position, and then do that late dive as well. Perfect, inch-perfect move. Doesn't run wide, doesn't go in the green. Just look at that. I mean, he managed his race like a champ, and once again, he proved that he's the man to beat. And yeah, well, looks like he's going to be a very well-deserved world champion, isn't it?
Kudos to him, and completely managed it beautifully. Max Quiles, the last of the late breakers. Some of that braking was extraordinary, wasn't it?
Well, I think Gavo Michael said he shouldn't have been there. He didn't quite have the pace, but he was like a dog with a bone. He was hanging on for the first half of the race near the bike. But then when it comes to that crucial point, 3 laps to go, he is the Marc Marquez of Moto3. Something clicks in his brain, and it's like, right, now I go superhuman. Now I ride over the limit and precise. And I mean, he almost won the race.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Obviously, he's managed by Alex and Marc Marquez, so, you know, there's an influence there. And in a situation like that, where you perhaps haven't got the bike underneath you, he seemed to rely on his innate aggression that he has.
The front end, the trail braking, and the bravery, and the skills.
And the skills.
To stop the bike like that. It's one thing, you know, wanting to do it and thinking about doing it. It's another thing to dive up the inside of these guys and making it stick. So he really sort of like, it looked like he was overriding the bike there for the whole length of the race, and it was unreal. He made very, very few mistakes, looking really good. And I agree with you, Neil, very Marc Marquez-esque, you know, the way he can override the bike like this and make it all on the front end. So yeah, very exciting rider, very exciting prospect.
Adrian Fernandez taking the spoils there. I mean,
from nowhere.
No, from nowhere, because you have to feel for Kelso, for Peroni, who looked so aggressive in there.
Yeah. When we say, look, they're on the limit, you saw on the last lap, Peroni was an example of that. He's 1 kilometre an hour faster than he was the previous lap, but that puts him over the limit and he's off the track. And yeah, Fernandez picked up the pieces. I mean, 2 laps ago, Fernandez was way back, but it just shows when they scrap that aggressive, it costs him a bit of time.
Well, congratulations to all of them. What a race, Gav.
Absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? What a wake-up that. Who needs coffee in the morning when you've got Moto3 That's what I say. An injection of that every morning would be perfect, wouldn't it? Gets you set up for the rest of the day, and hopefully more to come with Moto2 and MotoGP at the end of our race day here. But the riders are just taking their steps up on the podium. Jose Antonio Rueda, is that the one? Is this the day that he can really consider himself Moto3 World Champion-elect, because he has 3 races of advantage in his back pocket now. Andre Albani here from the circuit hands over the trophy to the IO squad. Win number 8 for the season. As I say, only 4 different riders have won this year. The Italian Federation President Giovanni Coppioli hands over a first podium trophy for Adrian Fernandez since Argentina. Second round of the championship. So 14 races later, he's back on the box. Max Quiles holds aloft his trophy there. 7th of the year now for Max. Remember, he has missed 4 races, so 7 out of 12 is incredible. And the mayor of the town of Misano handing over an 8th trophy for victory this year for Jose Antonio Rueda, his 11th podium, and opens up plus 75 gap in the championship.
And now it's champagne time! What a race here for Moto3. Next up, it's Moto2 from San Marino. But Jose Antonio Rueda bangs the Prosecco and sprays it aloft. He's the winner of round 16. What'll happen when we head to Japan? We'll see you then. Bye-bye.